Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing my house forecast as of right now for the 2024 presidential election using my latest model that I have constructed for all 435 house seats. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content just like this. And so what I'm essentially going to do for this video, I could totally do a video where I actually do every single district in the whole video or do it for a live stream. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at 270 to win's most competitive 2024 races, and based on my projection, I'm going to be filling them out as of right now based on what my model has. And so essentially for the first one, it will be Alaska as of right now. That is the first competitive district in this scenario. We see that district right over here is a flip for the Republican Party. The Republican Party is projected to win it by about 4 percentage points. This district was a pretty Republican district back in the 2020 presidential election. And since this is a presidential year, I expect Trump to do better in this district, considering that he is going to improve in the state nationwide. And so because of that, I do actually expect her to more than likely end up winning or end up losing by about 4 points as of right now, according to my latest forecast. The next one is actually going to be Arizona's first, which is also going to be listed as a 4.5 percentage point victory. As of right now, in the latest forecast, we see that, David Schweiker, has been in office for quite some time, and this district did vote for Biden. However, I think Trump is probably going to take back the district. The race was really close back in 2022, and so as of right now, I actually expect David Schweiker to hold on to his seat as of right now, so that is going to be a good thing for him. If we look at Arizona's fourth, it is actually not mentioned here, but that is considered a flip for Republicans. Arizona's sixth, if we go there right now, it is actually a likely district according to my latest forecast. As of right now, the Republicans just got elected back in 2022 by 1.5%. We see that district voted for Biden very narrowly back in 2020, and so I do actually have a feeling that Trump is probably going to take the district, especially since I have Arizona as around a 7.5 to 8 point victory for the former president as of right now. And so that this is basically what's showing up here as of right now for that district. California's 13th congressional district is a flip for Democrats. It's actually a likely Democrat district as of right now. Unfortunately, the presidential, district, the level it voted on the presidential level was very Democrat. This is the incumbent's first term. He barely eked it out in 2022. And so unfortunately, I do have this going to Democrats. California's 22nd. We can go ahead and look that up. I actually have that as a hold for Republicans. He was able to win by a couple of points in 2022. This district, is a pretty heavy Biden district in California. But if we look at the 22nd congressional district, we'll see that there has been a bit of a shift there. However, it's not quite enough to actually put this seat, as a flip for Democrats. Now, unfortunately, we do see here in Mike Garcia's district, unfortunately, I do actually have him losing by about a couple points. He ends up losing by about 3 percentage points as of right now. Even though the district has trended super hard to the right, the national environment seemingly is not Republican enough as of right now for it to flip. Biden is going to be on the ballot, and he's going to be able to make that district, even though, it'll probably vote similar to what it was here. Mike Garcia was able to win pretty big because of the fact that, there was no presidential ticket on the ballot. And if Biden was on the ballot in California, Mike Garcia probably would have gone down because Biden was significantly less unpopular than before. California's 41st is a hold for Republicans as of right now. That incumbent has been there for a really long time. It was a lean Republican district in 2020 for Donald Trump, a 4.5 point victory in 2022. I expect him to hold it. It does end up being a 2.4 percentage point victory as of right now. We see California's 45th. We see that it is actually listed as a lean margin here, and that's exactly what I have in my forecast as of right now, a 2.6 percentage point victory in this district. So that is pretty accurate, to say the least, with what the projection on 270 to win has. We'll also see Katie Porter's seat, the 47th congressional district. This is a lean Democrat as of right now. We do actually see it does go for her by about 3 points in my latest forecast. Colorado's third is interesting because it does hold for the Republican here. It's actually a likely district as of right now, so that is interesting. Colorado's eighth as of right now also holds for the Republican. It is considered a lean margin as of right now, despite, it barely voted for the Democrat in 2022, and it's a lean Biden district, and I do expect Trump to get the state almost within 6 points as of right now. So that district will probably end up flipping to Trump, so he will probably be able to carry the Republican over. Connecticut's fifth is interesting because this was a very heavy Biden district back in 2022, and we do see that it barely voted for the Democrat in the midterms. But if we look right now, it is actually also a tilt margin as of right now, which is fairly interesting. That is going to classify it in the teal column. Iowa's third. If we go to that, we will actually see that there are no, districts that in Florida are supposedly competitive. There is a flip on my forecast here, which is sort of interesting. If we go to Iowa, which will be all the way down here, we'll see the third congressional district is listed right here as a 4-point victory for that candidate as of right now, which is roughly where they have it at. They were both tilt margins in both elections, but I expect Trump to do way better in the district, so I wouldn't be surprised if that Republican were to win there by about 4 percentage points. If we keep going, we will see Illinois 17th congressional district. For whatever reason, this is actually quite funny, but for some reason, I actually have the 17th district flipping Republican by about a tilt margin as of right now. This district was lean into 2022 and was a slightly likely Biden margin. However, I do expect Trump to get this as around a 7 or 6 point win for Biden compared to 17 points. So this district may come down to the wire. And so it does seem that more than likely the Republican may actually be able to pick up that seat, as of right now. Indiana's first, as of right now, is listed as a hold for the Democrats. Is actually a likely district in my latest forecast, so that is in the likely column. Louisiana 6. If we were to go there, everything is pretty much safe. That's actually a safe Republican district as of right now. They probably do have it like this mainly due to congressional redistricting, possibly. That might be what it is, but that's essentially what I have it at as of right now. It is safe Republican in my forecast. Maine second, Jared Golden. He does end up going down by a likely margin, believe it or not. He actually loses by about a couple points. Just to give you a reference, in the RCP aggregate, Republicans do lead by 1.3% in the national average as of right now. So that's basically what I'm using to be able to control the model, as time goes on. I'm presuming Maryland 6 is actually not here as of right now. Michigan 7th. If we go to Michigan 7th, we'll see it is a flip for Republicans, and it is actually a likely flip. And if we go to Michigan's 8th, that is also a flip for Republicans by about a point as of right now. The thing is, the Democrat, the incumbent's not running. It was a very heavy Democrat, seat in 22, but the district was lean, and I expect Trump to probably flip that. I also expect Trump to flip, this district as well again, and the incumbent is retiring to run for U.S. Senate, so they are open seats, which are going to make them weaker for the Democrats, so I'm not surprised that those two are currently flipping in my latest forecast. As of right now, if we keep going down, we're going to see Michigan's 10th is also listed here, and it's actually a 10-point victory as of right now for John James. Presumably he would be the one running there, and that is a likely district as of right now. Minnesota second is actually listed as a flip on my forecast. It was a likely Biden district, but I do expect Trump to actually flip the state of Minnesota by about a little bit over a point or so. And so that's really what we're looking at right now. Montana's first should also be here. It is a likely victory for the Republican. North Carolina's first is interesting because the incumbent there is facing a really hard time because of the fact that there has been a huge redistricting there, and that is a right trending district. I do have it as a flip for Republicans as of right now, so that is also fairly interesting. North Carolina 6 is also listed as a flip as well. That is going to be in the lean Republican column. North Carolina's 13th district is also listed as a flip, and it's actually a likely district as well. And North Carolina's 13th, we're also going to see that be likely. North Carolina's 14th is a lean district as of right now, so that is going to be fairly interesting there. So we do see Republicans pick up a lot of seats out of North Carolina. Nebraska's second. If we were to go back to Nebraska, we see that it does go to Don Bacon by pretty easily, actually. He's actually probably going to win it by a likely margin, according to my forecast. New Hampshire's first is actually a flip for Republicans. Republicans are actually projected to flip it by a tilt margin. I expect Donald Trump to narrowly take the state of New Hampshire, so I wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see that. And it was only a 6-point district on the presidential level in 2020 for Biden, so that's fairly interesting. New Jersey 7th is also here as well. That is also listed as a hold for Republicans as of right now. The Republican was able to barely win last time, and right now they're actually improving on their margin. They're winning by almost 5 in this scenario. They only won by 3 in the last one. New Mexico 2nd was really competitive in 2022. We see that it was a 6-point victory for Biden in the district, and right now my forecast does have that district actually flipping by about 4 points. So we're seeing Republicans are gaining across the board in certain states. New York's 4th, Anthony Despacito, as of right now, is actually a flip for Democrats. Unfortunately, he does narrowly go down here. If we go to New York 17th, Michael Lawler also loses his seat by about a point or so. But in New York's 18th, the Republican is actually projected to flip this as of right now. So that is a good sign for Republicans out of there. And we see New York's 19th as well is going to be listed here. And that is also a flip for Republicans. So all of the two flips from the two competitive districts here basically cancel out. So that is very interesting. So basically all of the flips essentially cancel out, except for New York's 19th. That's theoretically a Republican seat. However, I do think that this person was put in as a special election candidate as of right now. So those are all listed there. And we keep going over here. Ohio's 9th. If we were to go down to that district, we're going to see that it is a hold for Democrats as of right now. It's going to be really close, but the Democrat does narrowly hold it. Ohio's 13th is a flip for Republicans. This was a very close district in Ohio, and I expect Donald Trump to win the state by about 17 points instead of only around 8 points. So this district will probably flip to Trump easily, and that's going to help the Republican get carried over in that district. However, it is still relatively competitive. If we keep going, we're going to see Oregon's 5th is also in the competitive category as of right now. That is actually a hold for the Democrat, believe it or not. The Democrat is, in fact, barely holding onto that district there. So that is going to be tilt Democrat as of right now, unfortunately. However, Oregon 6 is classified as a flip for some reason. So that is also, that's kind of interesting. Pennsylvania 7th, Susan Wild, that district was close in 2020. It was only a 2-point win in 2022. This was a very winnable district, and both Pennsylvania 7th and 8th are casted as flips for Republicans this cycle. Pennsylvania's 10th, as of right now, is actually a likely district, and we look at Pennsylvania 17th, and it actually is listed as a flip for Republicans right now, so that puts it in the lean column. If we look at Virginia, we will also see, a couple, we see a flip there. We see Virginia 2nd. As of right now, if we were to go there, it is listed as a hold for Republicans. That is the correct categorization there. And Virginia 7th here is actually listed as a flip here. It is actually a 1.6 percentage point victory for the Republican. And Washington's 3rd is the final district here. We see the Republican actually very easily wins that district by about a couple points, actually. They actually win it by about 8 percentage points. This was already a leaning Republican district. The incumbent has only been there for 1 term, and we see that that district was really close in 2022, and Trump almost won that district by 5. So if we go to the final map here, Republicans are actually at 234 Republican House seats to Democrats' 201 House seats. So right now, my House projection is actually pretty large, and my forecast actually has Republicans winning even more seats. It actually has it around 245 to around 190. I don't know why there's 1 seat missing. I tried checking, but for whatever reason, it is not counting a seat here. I'm pretty sure if I counted these up, it would add up to all the House seats, but for whatever reason, 1's missing here. So essentially 245 to 190, that's essentially what's being shown here. However, I'm using the consensus map for now, as I'm going to save the entire map for a future video as I'm tweaking the model. And so if you guys did enjoy this analysis, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to go ahead and follow the Twitter and join the Discord server in the description down below. And I will see you guys very, very soon.